For thousands of years, the dead were not buried empty-handed. They were paid. Not for comfort, not for honor, but for passage. Across ancient battlefields and silent graves, coins were placed on the eyes, sometimes inside the mouth, sometimes clenched in the hand. A simple gesture, yet one loaded with fear, belief, and an unanswered question. Why did so many civilizations believe death demanded payment? Long before gods were named, humans feared what came after the final breath. The body remained, but the soul was believed to travel. Coins served many purposes: to seal the eyes so the dead would not stare back, to weigh down the spirit, preventing it from wandering among the living, to mark dignity, a sign that this person was not abandoned, and above all, to prepare the dead for a journey no one could return from. This was not superstition. It was survival, psychological, cultural, and spiritual. To bury someone properly meant safety. An improperly buried person was considered dangerous. Across cultures, the unprepared soul was believed to return, not as a cherished memory, but as a direct threat. Coins, rituals, and rites were barriers. They weren't just to honor the dead, they were to protect the living. In ancient Greece, this fear took a specific form. His name was Charon, a silent ferryman who guided souls across the rivers separating life from death. The rivers had many names: Styx, Acheron, but the rule was the same: no coin, no crossing. Charon wasn't evil. He didn't judge. He did not punish. He simply enforced a rule older than the gods themselves. Even heroes feared him. Kings arrived at his river, no different than beggars. Death, in that moment, erased all status. Only the payment remained. Those without a coin were said to wander the shores for eternity. Not punished, just forgotten. And perhaps that was the true terror. Not death itself, but being left behind, lost between worlds. Warriors were rarely buried without coins, not because they were wealthy, but because they were feared. Ancient armies believed restless warriors could return as omens, curses, or vengeful shadows. The payment was a form of protection. A warrior denied passage was believed to linger, to bring famine, to curse battlefields, to haunt the victors. Paying the dead wasn't mercy. It was containment. It was a way to ensure the fallen stayed where they belonged. Even modern films echo this belief. In the movie Troy, you see bodies prepared with ritual precision. It's not explained, not questioned. It's just done. And this wasn't just a Greek idea. Greece did not stand alone. The Romans adopted the exact same practice. Celtic graves reveal coins and other offerings meant for the journey beyond. In ancient China, intricate objects were buried to serve the dead in another realm. Different cultures, different gods, but the same core belief. Death was not an end, it was a transition. And transitions require preparation. Wherever humans feared what followed life, they left something behind to aid the passage. But what if the coins were never truly meant for the dead at all? What if this entire ritual had nothing to do with the afterlife? Humans ritualize what they cannot control. Ritual gives structure to chaos, especially the chaos of grief. It creates meaning where there might be none. The payment was a promise that the dead were cared for and that the living could finally let go. In placing that coin, humanity found a sense of control in the face of the uncontrollable. It says, I did something. And sometimes That is enough to survive the pain of loss. Today, we no longer place coins on the eyes of the dead, but we still leave flowers on graves. We still speak final words at funerals. We still hold ceremonies and fear what waits beyond the veil. Perhaps death never demanded payment. Perhaps we did. We needed to pay that debt for our own peace of mind. And so the question remains, if you had to cross into the unknown, what would you take with you?